Look at the state of my hair. Look at
Hello,
it's
viewer. How are you doing?
oh,
Welcome to Full Record Jacket with Phil and Ben.
Nick Rhodes. That's how I'm going to go by for now. Phil Nick Rhodes. I mean, look at this.
I don't know which famous person I can compare that to because I don't think there's any precedent for that, is there?
What, this massive hair?
Yeah.
I know. It's just. I know. Look at it. It's. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's there, isn't it? That's all I can do with it. How are you anyway? I say that we've
I'm well,
literally just recorded one show. People will be able to tell that by the fact we're in the same
we
clothes.
spent literally 10 seconds in between shows, but since the last show, I've not been too bad, I have to say. Thank you very much.
Yeah, yeah. You've been working out since the last show. You're looking slightly buffer.
I've been working out how to. Well, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something funny then. I can't think of anything. I haven't, to be honest, I haven't really been working out in terms of
Oh.
exercise because it's been so hot.
It has been so hot.
I've tended to try and chill out.
Yeah, yeah. You need to chill out, dude. In this weather,
Went for a little walk in the cooler evening breeze the other night. And that was that.
Did you have any new tunes on?
No, not really. I must confess, I've not yet delved into. There's a new album, isn't there, by the Rolling Stones?
I was just about to mention that one because guess what I listened to yesterday?
Did you listen to it?
I listened to Foreign Tongues by the Rolling Stones. Well, I'd say I listened to it. I didn't listen to it all. I got three-quarters of the way through, and I really liked it. I'm not sure it hasn't hit me as instantly as Hackney Diamonds did, but it's very bluesy. It's very good. And
Yeah,
Jagger, what? He's 83, 84 now. Is he something
yeah,
like that?
something like that. He's coming towards 85.
And I
Yeah.
know voices are enhanced and that through the mixing desk and stuff, but he still sounds
Like Mick Jagger.
like Mick Jagger. And it's a really good. I must admit, from what I've heard, it is it is very very good because you kind of the Rolling Stones in the last sort of especially since the 80s, they've kind of had the odd good album and then had a big drop off for the next one, or it just hasn't landed what they've been trying to do. Me and you both like Bridges to Babylon, but a lot of critics think it's a stinker.
Yep.
And but no, I think it's a really, really. It's basically the Stones doing what the Stones do well, which is blues rock.
Is it more bluesy? I've only heard a few bits of it. Is it? I gather there are all different kinds of songs on there.
Yeah,
It's
there
kind of
is. Yeah,
country,
yeah.
a bit of country balladry and a bit of whatever. But is it more bluesy than Hackney Diamonds?
I think that it is. Even the tracks that aren't what you'd class it. So, say you've got that. Is it In the Stars, whatever it is, the song they release as the single.
Yeah,
That's very poppy, but it's also got a bluesy undertone. I mean, that song could have been on Hackney Diamonds. I would say they were probably written at the same time,
yeah.
because it does very much have that sort of feel to it. But I wasn't listening to it thinking, a bit like Hackney Diamonds as well. I'm like, this is an old band trying to sound, like they did with Bridges to Babylon. Obviously, tried to sound a little bit more modern. And then Mick Jagger did it with Goddess in a Doorway when he got sort of Rob Thomas and Bono and Lenny
Yeah,
Kravitz, etc., involved. And people kind of slagged him off for trying to sound modern. It's like, well, he's got every right to try and sound modern if he wants to. Um, but yeah, I thought it was. Yeah, I mean, one thing we say about Andrew Watt's production is it maybe sounds a little bit too polished, but a little bit too sort of clean. But I think he's kept that sort of bluesy sort of tone to it. So
yes. He's
yeah,
apparently had them playing, together in a room.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
apparently what he's done.
Which is
So
what he did
he's,
with Hackney Diamonds, wasn't it? I think.
yeah, so he's I think that's the positive is that he's captured that energy. Whether some people will agree with everything that's been done in the post production, etc., is another matter. But in terms of getting the performances, I have to say that he does seem to have done a very good job in
Yeah,
that in
and I
that
know a
one.
lot of people say, "Oh, it's not as good as their work in the '70s and stuff." It's like, Yeah, but the
Yeah,
70s was a different era. They were younger. They had probably more angst and that to sing about, and probably, whereas now
yeah.
they're in their 80s. It's like they're not reinventing the wheel. They are literally doing what they do best and making music that they probably enjoy more than anything,
I,
which is,
I think I know. I think I know where I stand with this. In that the '60s Stones, the early '60s Stones, obviously is very much of the '60s. It's sort of in its. I see that as being kind of in a time capsule with the
yeah, a
Beatles in a
little
way.
jingly jangly.
Um, and then we get into the late '60s, early '70s stuff. The Beggars Banquet, Let It Bleed, and then through to Exile on Main Street. And maybe I'll extend that to Goat's Head Soup. There's that sound, there's that dirty sound,
Yeah, yeah,
bluesy, whatever. That's sort of peak Stones. That's sort of like the definitive Stones, and I agree that that will probably always be the definitive era for them. Then you go into some of the albums a bit later on in the '70s, and you've got something like Black and Blue, which I think is a perfectly good album. I don't know whether it's a classic. I think it's good, but I don't think. And then we've been told over the years the received wisdom is that we're supposed to slag off everything they've done from like
yeah,
the '80s onwards.
yeah, yeah,
And I don't think these modern albums are any worse than Black and Blue.
yeah,
I
yeah.
honestly think, and when I even something like Some Girls, which was seen as being the return, a bit of a return to form, etc. I don't think some of the new stuff, the best of the modern stuff, to me compares quite favourably with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Even some of the stuff on Bigger Bang, I quite enjoyed Bigger Bang.
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, there is. I mean, it's a long album. Maybe it's too long. Is it
Too long,
16
yeah.
songs? And maybe there's just a bit too much on there. But again, it's well played. It's entertaining. I mean, you don't have to. It doesn't always have to have the like, great blues authenticity, does it? It can be fun as well.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't like to be too purist about the Stones because they started out as a pop group with teenage girls screaming at them. They've never been a totally purist band.
No, no. And also, they've got to cater for a new generation because, unfortunately, as we all know, with time, there's probably a large percentage of their fans from the 60s who are there from the beginning who are sadly no longer with us. So you're always having to appeal to a newer fan base, and and if you can attract them with a sort of a more moderner sound, then if they are music people, then they will go, oh, I'll go listen to it. A lad at work, Thomas, he heard the new single on the radio, and he's like, "Who's this?" I was like, "It's the Rolling Stones," and he was like, "Oh, I've never really listened to the Rolling Stones. It's really good." And I was like, "Ah, well, my friend, sit down. Here's a couple of albums you need to go and listen to." And that's how it's, and he did go off that evening and he did listen to some Stone stuff. So, that's how it works, isn't it?
Yeah. And did he have the idea? Had he not listened to them because he just never bothered, or did he have the idea that it was old people's music
Yeah,
and
I
that's
think
why he
that
hadn't
sort of,
that's why he
yeah,
hadn't listened
yeah.
to it?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit mixture of that. And like we were saying earlier, it's almost like a cult, not a cult, but a sort of thing to go and see them play live. It's almost like, oh yeah, just it's like people who wear band T-shirts that they don't really ever listen to.
Yes, I know what
You
you
know,
mean.
yeah,
It
yeah,
has
it's that,
become it has become a bit of a thing.
yeah.
Is it fair to say though that they don't sound like a bunch of 80 somethings when you
No, they
actually listen
don't.
to the album?
No,
I guess that maybe that's partly also it does help that the bass player and the drummer are not actually in their 80s. Does that
no, no.
does that slightly help?
Yeah, I think that helps. And I'm going to say I'm not one for thingy, but Ronnie Wood needs to shave his head. I think he'd look a lot better. He'd be more fresher. But yeah, I think with modern production, I think like you said, they've had an influx of not an influx, but 40% of the band are now considerably younger than what they are, and that does bring in a different dynamic, doesn't it? So they're going to be a slightly different sounding band. A younger drummer's obviously going to be a bit more sort of vibrant and maybe a bit more up tempo than what Charlie Watt was, but that doesn't get away from the drumming that Charlie Watt did, and that's not to say that he wouldn't have been able to drum because he drummed a lot of the a few of the tracks on Hackney Diamonds. So, but yeah, it does sound, and I'm going to give it another listen in the car on my way to Coventry later. It does, yeah. You're not listening to it thinking, "Oh, this is a bunch of granddads or great granddads," in some of their, you know. So it is,
No.
yeah, it is good. There's a track on there that does sound, when it comes in, I think it might have been a single, it does sound very reminiscent of Doom and Gloom. There's very much a sort of Doom and Gloom sort of track on there. But yeah, I mean, this and Hackney Diamonds could quite, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, I mean, I don't know if they were, but they kind of sound like they're recorded back to back. Cheek to cheek.
I think there is an element of that. I think a lot of it probably was done at the same time. I gather there's also another Charlie track on this one, whereas Hackney Diamonds had a track with Charlie on drums. This has one as well. I don't know how far back in the can it comes from, but he's on it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, looking at this, I mean, just brought up some of the reviews, and I'll read a couple of them to you. The Guardian called it a continuation of the creative revival that began with Hackney Diamonds, praising the energy captured by producer Andrew Watt and the band's obvious enjoyment of playing together. NME gave it 3.5 out of 5, describing it as a fresh, fluent follow-up packed with late career gems, even if it lacks a huge standout single. I don't know, I mean, the single they've released from it is pretty decent, and I'll read you one more, well, I'll read you two more. The Los Angeles Times says, was even more enthusiastic, suggesting it than the previous one, suggesting that it's actually better than Hackney Diamonds, praising how quickly the band follow up their 2023 comeback album, and finally the Financial Times awarded it 3 stars, doesn't say out of what. So is it 3 out of 10, 3 out of 5?
I think it's 5. But
yeah, noting some uneven tracks, but highlighting the band's enduring charm, Keith Richards and Ronnie Wood's guitar interplay, and Mick Jagger's remarkable vocal performance at 82. So it does say here, the main criticisms are that Andrew Watt's production can sound a little polished and modern for some tastes. And a few reviewers felt the album doesn't quite reach the heights of the Stones' classic 1970s, which is what we've just been saying. So,
yeah.
But, you know, it's never going to do that anyway. That's not what it's there for, because we're in 2026. So, you know, you can't keep harping back for World 50 odd years ago. So
it's a trade-off. It's interesting. This guy Andrew, isn't it weird how there seems to be goes through phases in music where one person becomes the go-to guy for production. So Andrew Watt, he produced this Stones album. He produced Hackney Diamonds before. He worked with Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Now, apparently, I believe it's the case that the Stones worked with him because McCartney recommended him. I think it's that way round.
Yeah.
But he's previously worked with pop people, because he's worked with Justin Bieber and he's worked with Lady Gaga. Yeah, he's worked with Gaga. But I mean, he's on. So Paul McCartney has just done a new album, which has been highly regarded, and that's produced by Andrew Watt. The Rolling Stones have just done this new album that's getting pretty good reviews. That's produced by Andrew Watt.
Yeah.
There's a new album by Madonna, where the 2 tracks have got some production work and some input from Andrew Watt. So, and he's working with everybody.
Well, here's a list. I've got a brief list of some of the artists he's recorded with.
Yeah.
The Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne on Ordinary Man and Patient Number 9. Pearl Jam on Dark Matter.
Okay.
Iggy Pop, Elton John, Paul McCartney, Lady Gaga, Miley Cyrus, Post Malone, Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez, Camila Cabello, Dua Lipa, Eddie Vedder, and Brandy Carlisle.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I was under the impression when the Stones started working with him that he'd only done sort of pop stuff, but that's not completely true then if he has done Pearl Jam as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's only 35.
He's apparently very enthusiastic, so he apparently sort of gets good.
He's got
performances out of, he
His
inspires
suit
them.
looks a little bit like your shirt.
Yeah, so he seems to have this knack of inspiring them and, I say, getting performances out of them. I said the only thing that you can really criticise is the final polish of his production, the final sound, But obviously, these artists are signing off on that. I mean, they don't have to release it if they don't want to, do they?
Like I said, a lot of you sort of, I mean, look at Madonna's out. Look at a lot of these artists like Sabrina Carpenter and Taylor Swift. They've all got a sort of polished thing about them, haven't they? You're not listening to a Sabrina Carpenter album going, that sounded a bit rugged around the edges.
No, exactly.
I don't know. It depends what. Yeah, like I said, it's just the modern way of doing it, isn't it? It's just what it is, and people just need to accept it. If not, Phil's going to come around and smash your face in. Aren't you, Phil? Phil, aren't you, Phil?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Phil is, and I'm not going to lie here because I'm a man of truth. He is a karate expert. He once, and don't tell the police this, but he once killed a man from 50 yards away with just a waft of his arms.
I think it was just by showing the shirt I was wearing, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. Phil's a dangerous man, people. He's not just full of Madonna and U2 facts. He's dangerous. Like a Michael Jackson album.
I'm not sure I know that many facts about U2, I don't think I do.
You do?
I know a few, but I wouldn't claim to know details about U2.
I bet you do. I'll tell you what, I'll do your U2 quiz, and I bet you know quite a lot.
I don't know. I reckon you can floor
He says
me
this, people.
quite
Look at
easily
him.
with this. I don't know.
Yeah. I'll say something. It'll be, oh no, that's not right. On the October the 13th of 1987, Bono actually went into a Sainsbury's, not a Tesco's, and he actually bought 3 packs of Angel Delight and a Curly Whirly and 2 packets of cream crackers. For you to say that he went into an alternative supermarket is factually incorrect. That's all I'm saying, Philster. But yeah, you need to listen to the new Stones album. You need to, see what you think and report back. And on some other shocking news, Philster, before we, wend our way into the ether, I haven't listened to the Adele album yet.
You haven't?
No. I've got a feeling this is going to turn into our stint on the Beach Boys.
It's going to be. We're not going to find out whether you do think Adele is the new Dusty Springfield.
No. Yeah. I mean, that is a distinct possibility, if I'm honest. But it is on my mind. I was driving the car the other day and I had the Madonna album on, and I was like, oh, maybe I could listen to Adele, and then I decided against it. So that's still in the wings, dude. That's still in the wings. I am working on it. I will do it at some point, but just haven't done it yet.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So that's where we're at. That's where I'm at. Yeah. Now I'm going to sleep.
I thought I'd just let you decide the future direction of this particular episode. Or maybe I'll just sort of see how long you sleep for.
Sleep all day. I'm a sleeping genius. Yeah, I will get round to Adele, don't you worry. I will do it and then I'll report back. And I am going to come up with a U2 quiz for you just to dispel any thingy that you don't know anything about U2. So that's going to happen. So, anybody out there watching, and I know there's millions of you, go listen to the new Rolling Stones album. You won't be disappointed.
Foreign Tongues.
Yes.
That's it. Some have criticised the artwork, but
I like the artwork. It's very Stonesy.
It's very Stonesy. Some people have said it looks awful. That's the whole point, isn't it? The Stones are awful. They're supposed to look dirty and disgusting and horrible.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not actually that disgusting. It's like a composite of their faces, which
all merged into one.
Quite disgusting when you think about it. Yeah.
And Mick Jagger was at the football yesterday. I saw him at the football. He was there.
Yeah, he went there. Did he turn up at the football just because that's part of promoting a brand new album?
Possibly. Because he's more of he's a cricket man. I wonder what football team he supports.
I don't
He's
know.
from Dartford, isn't he?
Does he even support a football team? I've never really heard about Mick Jagger and football.
Let's have a
Um,
look.
I don't know of him having a
What?
football allegiance.
I bet he's an Arsenal fan. Does Mick Jagger supports? Here we go. Mick Jagger is a well-known, lifelong supporter of Arsenal,
Is he?
recognised among other famous celebrity fans. However, he has also admitted supporting Tottenham Hotspur. He grew up back in Arsenal because of his roots south of the river in Dartford, even though Arsenal's north of the river in North London. But later began following Spurs as well because his friends supported them and he felt
You
they were a
can't
more
do.
exciting team to watch.
Is that allowed? Is that allowed in football? I didn't think that was allowed in
No,
football.
especially when it comes to Arsenal and Tottenham.
Well, I would say that's like kind of. Isn't that like a Liverpool fan saying, "I also like Everton"? Or
Yeah, or Celtic
something?
and Rangers.
Yeah.
Celtic fan going, all the
I mean,
troubles that we've had over the years. I
I
still
don't
quite
claim
like.
I don't claim to be an expert on football, but I know that's a no-no.
Yeah. So that's where we're at with it, dude. He's an Arsenal fan apparently with leanings to Tottenham, which says to me he's not really a football fan.
Even I know not to say anything like that about
Yeah,
football.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go. He's more of a cricket fan than a football fan.
He definitely seems to be, doesn't he?
Yeah. So on that bombshell,
That's sorted Mick Jagger out.
yeah. Oh,
Still going at 82, but Ben sorted him out. There you go.
yeah.
Thank you, viewer. Well, thank you for watching, viewer. We will be back again with another one.
If we haven't sweated away into a puddle of putrid mess.
Indeed. Bye for now.